What is up, people? You're very welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is happy, well, and jacked. Oh, look at that. Sweeping lats. So I'm sure some of you were lured in by the title today. The title suggests that we are going to get into some shit. So we're going into steroid use today. Alex Eubank. Now, maybe a lot of you won't know who Alex Eubank is. I didn't know who he was only up until about 3 weeks ago, because in the fitness industry at the moment, he has been the topic of conversation amongst many of the content creators, fitness YouTubers on the scene. And that is because he has made the switch from being a natural lifter, never taken drugs before, to now going on testosterone.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
He calls it TRT, that is testosterone replacement therapy. TRT is almost being used by a lot of people these days as like a healthier way of saying testosterone. We've seen celebrities say this online as well.
Super fatigued. I'm like, things aren't working in my body. I can't breathe. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I work out all the time. I should be feeling better. And I go to the doctor and let's do a blood panel. He's like, oh, you have no testosterone. I was like, okay, I guess I beat it out of myself. so we started on testosterone, and it was like, oh my God, like a new me.
It's just another way of saying testosterone. So Alex Eubank effectively is not a natural lifter anymore. His natty status has been revoked. I think he started his cycle not really a cycle, he's taken one drug, well, unless he's lying. But he started this about 3-4 weeks ago. He announced it to his audience and he said he's going to document his journey. Now, I'm going to try and be very respectful in this video. I don't know Alex, and whatever I say in this video, he's probably not going to see it, where this video to him is insignificant to him because he's such a large following. He's in America. But I've seen a lot of people do videos on him and people have things to say, and each to their own. But the problem with social media is people not treating each other like they would treat someone in real life. I wouldn't bash this dude in real life. I wouldn't say mean or harmful things. I don't know him. I would say that to my close friend, my brother, my girlfriend. I would abuse them, but I'm not going to abuse someone I don't know just because it's of no consequence to me. I don't like that about social media, so we're going to try and keep this respectful. Because I think it was maybe 2 months ago, I got a message from someone, I don't know them, but from someone from my local area. Replied to a post I put up about the topic was, is lifting dangerous? I said, of course it can be dangerous. I use the analogy of someone who doesn't know how to drive, getting behind the wheel of a car is dangerous, whereas someone behind the wheel of a car who knows how to drive is less dangerous. And that's kind of what lifting heavy is like. A beginner isn't just going to come into the gym and start maxing out, lifting crazy weights. No, there's a process involved that you have to go through. Anyways, this lady, I don't know what she said to me. I'll find the message and I'll throw it up here, but she started real aggressive. She was like, bullshit, that's your ego talking. It's like, would you say that to me on the street? I don't think so. So that's a bit of a side tangent, but we're not going to do that here today. So this is a very different style of video I'm doing today, and I had to ask myself, what was the goal of making this video? The goal of this video really is to show you an example of what not to do, because for what this guy wants to achieve, he didn't need to do this. So I'm going to get into this in the video, but I would like my audience, I would like the people who watch this video to know that you are capable of so much more than you think. How many people are close to their natural status in the world who are training that hard, who have everything down to the T? Very, very, very few. We're all capable of a lot more. And taking drugs, if that's what you want to do, that is your choice. You're not a bad person for doing it, but it should be a last resort. So I'm going to dive into the intro of Alex's video where he announced this, and we're going to react to some of the things he says. I'm not going to challenge him really, I'm going to challenge some of his ideas and what he says, and we will discuss that. So let's get on with it.
For 8 long years, I've been grinding. No shortcuts, no excuses. Every rep, every set was earned the hard way. You see, I've heard it all. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. For years, people have clowned me.
How did this man go from the most loved to the most hated fitness influencer?
Okay, just on that, this guy has a very big following. He has a lot of eyes on him. And I can imagine the pressures of social media, having that much eyes on you and feeling the need to be on point all the time. I can imagine that has influenced his decision making here. I threw up a video of my 170 kilo bench press like 2-3 weeks ago on YouTube Shorts, and man, if you go look at the comments, I'm getting roasted by a lot of people. And I only have 400 something subscribers. I can only imagine what some of the messages this guy gets in the comments on his videos, but let's move on. I'm just trying to empathize with him somewhat.
In such a short amount of time.
He's been wrestling these allegations for ages and denying the fake natty rumors constantly.
Some of you think you know what I've been through, but you don't. Every ounce of muscle, every inch of progress, it's mine. It was not handed to me. No shortcuts, no cheats. I say natural for 8 years straight. 8 years of pushing my body to its limits. If you're in the same shit talk, the same doubts, your physique isn't changing, bro, you need to bulk. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm not here to fit in anyone's box. I'm here for me. I'm officially stepping into the world of testosterone, not because I need validation, not because I'm chasing numbers or approval, but because I have more to prove to myself.
Okay, just on that. He said he was training for 8 years as a natural, which, respect. At least he gave it a long time. There is more and more people, young kids, but not just like young kids, like teenagers and guys and girls in their early 20s, but there's more people hopping on gear really early on. Whereas the body you want probably wasn't that far away from you if you're doing the right things. But respect to this dude, like he lifted for 8 years prior to going on gear. Not saying like that's like a pat in the back, good job, man. But at least he waited that long. Now something he says here, but I have more to prove to me. He kind of contradicts himself, because he says 8 years of hard work, all that process, like every ounce of muscle was mine. Now he's saying he has more to prove to himself. But like, all the gains he's going to get from now is a result of the drug he's taken. So what are you really proving to yourself? It is a shortcut, in a sense.
To myself, the version of me you thought you knew, he's gone. And what's coming next? That's something you've never seen before.
Yeah, I've never seen an influencer taking steroids and posting their physique all over social media. That is certainly something I've never seen before. So if you want to go check out that full video, go into Alex's channel and look up Alex Eubank, testosterone. It'll come up straight away. And it's probably going to be titled like No Longer Natural. Now I've been watching a lot of responses people have been doing to his videos, and he himself has done responses to these responses. It's like responseception. And I've highlighted some clips, some of the things he said. I'm going to throw those up on screen now and dissect some of the things he said, because he goes into his reasoning behind why he's doing what he's doing. So yeah, let's have a look.
I think taking TRT at all is harming your body. In fact, I think it's more harmful in the long run to have like literally a very low level of testosterone. I don't think TRT is unhealthy at all. You're literally just replacing your natural production. Give or take, I am taking a little bit more than what my natural body was producing, right? I'll have a little bit more in my system.
He's taking a higher dose of testosterone. It's not really TRT, he's taking testosterone. Like I said at the start of the video, a lot of these guys who decide to hop on testosterone, they call it TRT as a means of, oh, TRT, that sounds quite healthy. That's like prescribed by a doctor. It sounds better than I'm taking testosterone or I'm taking steroids. Now look, he's right in a sense. If you have low levels of testosterone, then it's probably not that healthy. However, is he doing all the things he could be doing to increase his testosterone naturally, as opposed to going taking a needle, or however he's taking it? I assume it's a needle, in order to bring his testosterone levels back up? I don't think so. We'll see.
I don't see that as being unhealthy, especially when you're getting everything monitored. I get everything in my body monitored more than your average person by a long shot, because of all the connections I have and my sponsors and everything. I'm able to have the privilege to do that.
Okay, this is something a lot of these guys also say, is that they're getting everything done the healthy way. They're getting monitored, which fair dues to them. I suppose he's doing it right. So that's something to bear in mind. He's a huge following. He has lots of this. Look at the car he's standing in front of. He has money to be doing this. A lot of people who hop on steroids, I don't think they factor in the amount of money this stuff costs. So if you're struggling to make ends meet every week, then you should definitely not be going anywhere near steroids, because that's going to add, that's going to add more money to your bill. It's not like it's a once-off thing. If you start doing this, you have to commit to it. So financially, you better be in a good place if you decide you're going to doing this.
Extremely successful in multiple ways in life, and for me, I want to live long and I want to have a good life. I just want to be healthy and feel good living life. I don't care about getting stupid bigger. Yeah, on the test, am I looking forward to gaining a little bit of size? Yeah. I'm not trying to be extremely big though. My goal, honestly, while taking all this, if I could add like 10 pounds of lean muscle mass over the course of the next year or two, I'm completely cool and content with that. If it's even less than that, that's cool too. Like I know I'll look better.
10 pounds of muscle over the next year or two. Or even, he even said even less muscle than that. That is so achievable naturally. If you give yourself 2 years to add on 10 pounds of tissue, that's less than, like, he would be an intermediate lifter because he's been lifting 8 years and he hasn't, I'm kind of skipping, but he hasn't been taking his training too serious, which we'll get into. That's like less than half a pound of muscle gain per month for 2 years in order to gain 10 pounds of lean muscle. This was so achievable to do naturally. He did not need to take testosterone to see those changes. He didn't need to do that. 10 pounds was so realistic. Damn. Really? You want to be the guy who takes drugs just to gain 10 pounds of lean tissue? Come on.
I keep seeing people being like, oh, he's blasting gear. People said, I'm taking the easy. I saw people saying, he's taking the easy way out. I've been training 8 years naturally. 8 years naturally. I would understand that if I was training like two or 3 years and then I took something. That I think is whack as hell, but I've been training 8 years, bro.
Like, I have like not the worst diet, but like, I haven't tracked a single day really of macros in probably the last like year and a half. Like, my training, I've never had like a training regimen. I kind of just like go in and do what I want. Train hard, obviously, but like, I just don't like, I've never articulate, I'm not gonna lie, my genetics have like carried me quite a bit, like a long way. Yeah. Back when I really was dialed in on social media though, I would say like I was tracking my macros and I was like starving myself low-key to stay shredded so long.
So someone says, you've taken the easy way out. He's like, how have I been taking the easy way out? I've been training 8 years. But in the next clip, we saw that he isn't really doing everything he could be doing to maximize his natural potential. He's not following a structured plan. He basically said his diet isn't terrible, which means it's probably not that good. And he said his genetics have carried him. Look, if he has good genetics and he is not following a structured plan, he's not as dialed in with his nutrition, and maybe he's not as dialed in with his recovery either. And he's good genetics. Again, his goal of 10 pounds of lean muscle was super achievable to do naturally. It's actually quite mind-blowing that he hasn't done these things yet. But again, he's going for steroids first. Which, is that mind-blowing? Not really, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't understand the principles of training or diet. And instead of trying to upgrade their knowledge, they just jump straight to gear. It's like people view things in a way where I'll do this and I'll get this benefit. But there's trade-offs in everything you do. You don't get anything for free. There's going to be trade-offs taking testosterone now. What those trade-offs are, for Alex, hard to know, but there's going to be some side effects. And there would have been trade-offs in, let's say he wanted to upgrade his knowledge, follow a structured program. There would have been trade-offs there too. It's not like everything is just you do X and you get Y. There's like this cascade of events that are going to take place in between that are going to be both good and bad. And I suppose you have to weigh up the pros and cons. Maybe this guy, he's been Instagram lean for the majority of his lifting career. If you're Instagram lean for, let's say, 8 years, it's going to be very hard to build muscle. So I've said before that you can be in a deficit of calories and you can build muscle tissue. However, That gets harder to do as you progress in your training. So for someone who's been training 8 years to be trying to build muscle while in a deficit or at their maintenance calories, it gets a little harder to do. So this guy hasn't been seeing much progress because he's keeping his calories too low, and plus he's not following a structured program. I just want to see, is there any other videos left to cover? No, that's pretty much all the clips I have from Alex. And look, no disrespect to the dude. From like a morality standpoint, you're not a bad person if you take steroids. In one sense, this is like a double-edged sword because, again, we have to weigh things up. In one sense, he's being honest saying he's taking steroids. I know for a fact that you are following someone at this moment in time that you think is natural and they're not. Could be me. Don't trust anyone. But you are definitely following someone that is either has not openly admitted they're taking steroids and they use their body as a means to market to other people for them to buy their products or get coaching from them. Or worse, they lie about it. They say they're natural and they're not. And that happens a lot in the fitness industry as well. So I respect him in that sense that he's openly admitting it. Now, the catch-22 here is that, and this I've seen this in a lot of response videos to Alex saying he's taking steroids, is that he has a young following, a lot of young males who look up to him and want to be like him, and now they're going to start taking steroids. There's an argument for and against that. Like, a lot of people follow Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead has a huge following, almost like 30 million, might be more. Just because people follow Chris Bumstead and are inspired by him, does that mean all those 30 million followers are going to take steroids? Absolutely not. That would be very silly to say. But Alex Eubank is an influencer, and you'd be a pretty shit influencer if you didn't influence people. So it is probably going to have an impact on people. People are most likely, there is going to be a select few people who are going to start doing gear now because he said he's doing it, and because he's documenting the journey, how much he's taken, and he's going to be showing his progress along the way. People are going to be enticed by that. Look, at the end of the day, it's on you. If you take something, if you put something in your body, that is your responsibility. That is your fault. Unless someone came into me in the middle of the night and jabbed me in the ass while I was asleep with testosterone and tren, it is my fault if I decide to take it. I said before on a video previous to this that my first coach, when I was competing for my first show, he told me I should take steroids. That was wrong of him to do. I was 18 years of age, at an impressionable age, and I looked up to him, respected his opinion, and trusted him. He shouldn't have done that. However, it would have been on me. I was 18, it would have been on me if I took steroids. Thankfully, I didn't. Don't take, hey, just because I say I didn't, you don't know. And I'm saying that not to like confuse you. It's like, is he trying to say that he's taking steroids? No, I'm not. But take everything you hear on the internet with a pinch of salt. Some of you watching this, you might know me. Other people, you don't know me. I don't know you. Don't just like blindly trust a stranger on the internet and take every word they say for gospel. But I digress. That is why I'm making this video, because people are going to be influenced by this guy. Now, not to say most of my following probably don't even know who this guy is, but you will definitely see someone, you'll be exposed to someone who's taking gear, and you might be like, man, maybe I should take gear. Hold up. We just went through some of the things he said, and he could have done so much more to improve his physique, to feel good. He wanted to feel good and just improve his physique. He could have done so much more. He said he wasn't dialed in with his food. He wasn't following a structured plan. He was just going into the gym, training hard. Granted, I bet he was training hard, and training hard, it's like, what does he mean by that? Well, let's say he is training close to failure and lifting with good technique. If he paired that with a structured plan and stuck to the same exercise over a long period of time and tried to progressively overload those exercises, it's that combination that takes an average physique to a real epic one. This is something I'm trying to prove with my own training the last year. I was 86 kilograms on average last year. I'm now floating around 98 kilograms. Is that all muscle? Of course not. But I've taken my strength, to somewhere it's never been before, just by zeroing in on my training that little bit more. And I've achieved this all in 1 year because I just decided to zero in, increase my calories, take the hit in terms of like, I have to gain a little bit of body fat and be like tolerably uncomfortable. I was willing to take that hit because I want to take my physique to the next level. That is putting in the work, as a lot of these guys like to say. I cringe saying that. It's just not my style. But it is. That's putting in the work. That is like seeing what more you're made of. He said at the start, he said in his first video, like, I have more to prove to me. But like I said, all the results he's going to see are going to be as a result of the drug he's taken. You can see so much progress as a natural. And if you're someone who wants to see more progress, you want to dial in your training that little bit more. I am a personal trainer. I am an online trainer. And I work with people one-to-one to give them the best results possible in a time-efficient manner. And I'm hell-bent on making sure you have the tools. You have the tools to keep that result after we're finished working together. Because there's no point working with me, getting a result in 12 weeks and then being like, now what? And then you lose your result. That's something that happened to me back when I was younger. I didn't like it. So it's almost like my mission in a sense to make sure you're in a good spot when we finish working together. So you can follow the links below if you want to work with me. And aside from that, thank you for watching. I love the support the channel is getting lately, and I will see you in the next video.